me see if I can get this monitor up. I'm gonna go get me a monitor today because it makes no sense to have a whole MacBook down here getting sawdust in it. Just so I can look at the screen. And I can put a TV up somewhere for $100. So, I do need to see my chat though. So I have to wait for my commercial. Let me see. Before I can see my screen. What commercial is that playing? Hey, what's up? What's up, Calvin? How you doing, man? Cheers, Miss Heather. How you doing? Calvin and Heather jumped in here right quick, like that's what's up. Y'all should go over there, man. There are now the membership things for me are gonna be like I'll be giving away mallets and stuff like that. And I'm gonna do videos for my members specifically. And if my members have questions, I will do videos to answer those questions individually and specifically if you happen to have questions that involve my expertise in real estate or home improvement or coffee consumption. Let's see. Runic, what's up, man? Good to see you. Can y'all hear me okay? Am I too loud? Because I can take one of these out if I need to. And it'll like tone it down a little bit. But I'm trying to make up for my low voice. He said people think I'm AI. No, I am totally AI. I am 100%. I am, I didn't expect this to get out, but there's a button like in the back. This is where I wear the hat, because there's a, you know, kind of a ratatouille situation going on. And it's also inducted with the AI. So you're right. I'm basically Max Headroom for anybody who is 150 years old like me. Mouse Lezimu says you have a beautiful voice. That is weird to me. I can't really tolerate my own voice, if I'm being honest with you. But I do see my hat is crooked. I gotta do something. There you go. Just the kind of crooked is what I'm referencing. All right. Compa Green says we had no, Comp Dad says Compa Green, we had no idea he was AI until now. Here you go. The suspenders. Kenny says suspenders are cool. I appreciate it. The Apprentice says you're not a day over 30, man. I don't know, you. Well, maybe, I mean, if I'm AI, I'm certainly not, because AI hadn't been around for 30 years yet. Let's see what I can do here. I do need to get these out of this wood, because this is, I'm going to build my mallet out of scrap. But I'm going to do one of those heart mallets for the heart mallet challenge, and I also got to finish this thing. Jesus, we've been working on this forever, and I love it. Every time we do something to it, I love it. But I got to clean up the last thing we did. I got a new idea for in here, and I wanted to put 2 black bands around and just kind of cap that off. Or if I'm feeling particularly adventurous, because this has the potential to mess it up. Where's that? Hold on. I cleaned up my shop a little bit yesterday evening, and you know how you get used to where your junk is? It's like somebody move your junk over, and then you're like, where's my junk? Anyways, here's what I did. I don't see the piece I'm looking for now. But I ripped open some wire because I do a lot of electric work. And I pulled out, once I don't have to strip this off, but I use the ground because it's a little bit thicker. Copper wire that I might try to figure out how to integrate into this cane, because that could be cool too. That might be what I do, the kind of termination of this ribbon. See here, it just looks dumb without some defined end of it, you know what I mean? So I think I'll put a black ribbon around, pardon me, here and here, and then maybe that'll get me closer to feeling done. And I think I'm gonna stain the inside of here with something. I was doing the fire, but the fire worries me with a glued up piece, because if it starts to separate and damage that glue, then what kind of cane did I build, right? Mosa says, sing something for me. I don't sing. I mean, I do sing, but I can't sing at all. Like, oddly enough, out of a huge family that I have, I'm like the only one that can't sing. I can rap though. I'll bust some verses for you, son. Hit that like, folks. It's free and Wes is cool. Says Runic. That's awesome. He might actually sing, but you gotta stay tuned for that. Calvin knows me well. I will randomly sing. I don't know if I'll ever do it on command, but I will randomly just start singing something awful. Man, y'all are catching me pre-coffee. I probably got junk in my eyes and everything. Alright, let's figure out how to get some deal here now. This thing's getting loose. I gotta tighten some stuff up. Hold tight, y'all. Hold tight. While I get my ish together. It's a lot. I know it. So here's the idea for the heart mallet. Clean this wood up. I'll draw a little heart somewhere on there. Take some clamps and some glue, and I'll smack some mahogany on there, and then I'll carve that heart out and try to make it look like it's integrated, and then those will be the outside pieces of the mallet, and then I'll figure out what I'm going to do on the inside. But right now, nail pulling 101. I'll show you how to do that. These are finished nails, so they are delicate, and you don't ever want nails in something that you're going to put a plane or a chisel or anything like that on, a blade, I should say. So, of course, I do some electrical work. I do some of everything. So I've got plenty of tools that are good for that. Like I said, I cleaned up yesterday, and now I'm trying to find them. That's not the box. I got a plumbing toolbox. I got a plumbing fitting box. I got electrical, so on and so forth. Yada, yada, yada. Some of it's going to be outside. I'm going to have to aim it this way. Hopefully I won't disconnect. Sorry to slam the door on you, but you gotta move fast. These mosquitoes are crazy over here this time of year. All right. These were outside. I was working on the truck earlier, so a little rusty. All right, now you don't want to pinch and break these off. You just want to grab it. The blade will grab it. Once it does, you're not applying any more pressure here. You're just kind of using that as a wedge, and then you just turn. Because if you put pressure, you'll snip it. You don't want to do that. You just want to turn. You pull that whole nail out. You get close to it. As soon as it grabs a little bit, you got tension. Look, I'm just turning. I'm not pinching. Yeah, there we go. Just go slow. Now, this is construction wood, and it is tearing it all up. I don't care because I'm going to cut that part off. But if you did care and you didn't want to cut that part off, and you happen to be trying to save some old scrappy wood, get you some more old scrappy wood and use it for the leverage. Hold on while I murder this spider for no reason. Good luck in the next line, buddy. All right, you get your scrap wood right here next to it. Now, if you're not having to do this for a camera, it's a lot easier, right? And then you just pry off that same way. And your wood is safe and secure. We got like one more to pull out of here. Interesting thing about these in my ears, I can hear my voice in my own head in reverb. So it sounds super deep. I'll take care of you in every way. Dave says, I disagree. Disagree with what, Dave? That my voice is interesting or good? Can't say I have a counter for that. I probably agree with you. Should I go ahead and chop these into the pieces and sizes and angles that I want? I don't know. Look at all these knots. That is a nightmare for carving. But it is interesting, and I think I want it. I think I want that. At least on one side, I want that. So I'm going to make a little mark to remind myself not to discard that portion. I'm going to get the combination square while I'm over here, because that's what we need to do. We'll always need a combination square. And then I'll get a pencil. And for what we're going to do today, we're going to probably have some real fine lined carving. So I'm going to have to keep my pencils super sharp. Oh man. Sharp pencils, the lead always breaks out inside of there because they're sharp pencils. And I'm not the gentlest of elves. I'm certainly not a giant enough to say. I mean, if I was a little person, I'd be a giant. I'm just a small person. True story, my mother was 4'11", and my sister's like maybe 5 feet, maybe 5'1". So at 5'4", I was like the second biggest dude in my household growing up. And step out into the world, and it's different. And it was funny. You kind of get used to your environment. And again, I'm only 5'4" tall, but I would come home from college and visit home, and you know how like if you haven't been away from home, and then you suddenly are away from home. Home is weird when you come back. I felt like Gandalf walking into a little hobbit house, just because everybody was smaller than me, and I hadn't been in an environment like that in ages. I'm going to sharpen this pencil all the way down to the eraser just to find out that that there's no functional lead inside of this thing. Ugh. All right. What kind of woodworking station have you happened upon where the dude can't even sharpen his pencil? I might not want to trust this one, folks. Why do you keep strolling? Looking serious when working. This joker. Oh my God, all I got left is fat carpenter pencils. If you didn't know, this is a carpenter pencil. I got a dozen of these things laying around. And they're ridiculous. They're way too thick. Look how thick the lid is. But that's all I got. I got no choice. To run my own business like my Aunt Joyce. Pete Rock Kitten. Much respect to when they reminisce over you, my God. Alright. We'll just sharpen this. The old Gerber. I know you're saying, Wes, where's that Kershaw you brag so much about in your shorts? It's upstairs because it's my everyday carry. It's in yesterday's pants, in the floor, and because that's how I get down, son. What about it? But this Gerber was my everyday before that one. It's a good backup. It's a good backup. And I got this one for dumb cheap. I'm trying to refine this blade. I meant this lead on this pencil. And I'm trying not to get it in my coffee, so. Oh my God, that was wonderful. Wonderful. We're getting there. Okay. Okay. Calvin says, is the 90 section for the top, like the mallet head? No, just the outside face, I think. I just like how those look. Because I'm probably just going to sand the outside, you know what I mean? I probably won't have to run a plane over it. Crazy how bad these pencils are. Yeah. CJ sort of working on the 90 head. Doors look a fair bit more like soft rather than hardwood. Pete Rock CL Smooth, you know it, Calvin. Enjoy the journey there, Lean. Oh, Lean must have said something and got booted. What am I making? John Wick. It's a John Wick prop. Yeah, I'm making a mallet. Oh, and we're gonna work this cane out too, y'all. We're gonna do that. But okay, real quick. This is the only reason we was doing all of that. Sophisticated. That's y'all remember man, I'm old. I almost asked y'all if y'all remember a Public Enemy song off of the Fear of the Black Planet album. And I know not a single one of you does. I got a letter from the government the other day. He opened it and said it. Read it with suckers. He wanted me for the army or whatever. Picture me giving a, I said never. Here's a land that never gave a damn about a brother like me and myself because they never did. Wasn't with it for just that very minute. Then it occurred to me. The suckers had authority. Cold sweating as I dwell in a cell. How long has it been? They got me sitting in a state pen, wanting to get off of my thought with beats of balls, just like Oliver's neck. I had to get off. All right. So I'm just separating into some random sections of wood that I can use to put this whole thing together. I think I'm gonna go maybe 3 or 4 times the thickness of this and just kind of sandwich them together, end up with something like this, but all the same wood, so it'll probably end up more like this. But we're gonna see. We're gonna see today. I'll tell you that. Somebody got booted out of Wes's workshop. What? What? Who dare? Who dare that? Coffee tastes funny. Like how funny? Or like what the heck funny? All right, let's go ahead and chop this thing into some pieces, and then we'll work with the pieces. Or I can go ahead and put the glue up part going right here because this is the plainest Janus section of our circumstance situation. Maybe that'll be the outside on the other side. Or this with these 2 nuts. I like that. I'll put the heart right there. And this way, what I can do is clamp this down, and work that way. I don't have to do any of that, extra. So let's grab the wood we want to use for that. Let's see what we've got. We got some scraps left over from the, hey, listen, real quick, if you're subscribed to me, you can win this mallet. And you can win the one that I'm going to make by simply going on one of my shorts videos and saying, I want that mallet. Oh, wait, maybe I can't tell you to do that. I think I just found out that maybe I can't tell you to go do stuff like that. But, if you did it on your own, I couldn't stop you. And you'll be entered in the contest. Anyways, for my subscribers and my members get automatically entered into a different drawing that gets me a mallet. Doesn't cost anything. All you got to do is pull up on your boy and let me know that you want to win the mallet. And I got you. All right, here's what we're thinking about for the heart. Some good old walnut. I think that would be good. I'll show you what the walnut looks like on a charm. I think I got my African medallion here somewhere. There we go. So, that's what that looks like with finish on it and all that, right? So that is the idea but a heart. And who knows, we might even throw the motherland on the other side of that thing. Carve it all over again. I'm adventurous. I'm adventurous. And listen, don't be coming over here on my channel getting offended by my heritage. I get a little bit of that from time to time. Somebody tried to be smart in the chat and like, oh, you sound American. I'm like, are you kidding me? You walk over to an Irishman and tell him he's got an American accent, so he don't have Irish blood. You get your mallet opened up. I'll tell you that. So all right, let's figure out this heart though. Let's get off of that toughness. Sometimes I'll get tough on all on random. I'm sorry. All right, so we're gonna draw this heart here now. I'll tell y'all, I started this whole thing to say I went over to Dad's workshop this morning because I'm a member over there, like a boss, and yo, you get so many more video access, like so much more video access. You get more stuff, and some of it is so moving, dude. I'm an origin story guy. I love to hear a good origin story. And man, you get a little journey over there, buddy. It makes me wish I had left up some of my old stuff. I was on here rapping once upon a time, yo. It was whack, but I was doing it. Okay, that's a good heart right there. That's a good heart, I think. Which is Heather says, double tap the screen, like the stream, subscribe to enter the mallet, and maybe leave a comment. Subscribe and make sure he knows you subbed. And you're in. You're in like Flynn, son. Casey says, what are we making today? We are making a heart mallet. Let's see this beautiful word. I'm gonna make the beautiful word from this. What's the easiest way to make money with woodworking? Build houses. That's how I've made money with woodworking. Build houses. You can go frame in a door and make $500 in 2 or 3 hours if you know how to do it. So yeah, there you go. Buy a 2x4, chop it in sections, and make phone holders using a dado or chisel. Bam! Dad's workshop. That's a good question for him. He's actually sold and done woodworking to make money. I have not. I got no idea how to go sell stuff and tell you how to go about it. I can tell you, as 30 years as an entrepreneur, and only working for myself and actually earning every nickel that comes to my house and supports my children, I can tell you how to go about your business in a safe and functional way. I don't know that I have enough insight to tell you how to make woodworking money. Unless you are really good at it. And once you get really good at anything, then your pricing can be above everybody's if you want it to be. You don't chase you don't chase Walmart. You don't try to keep up with cheap and quick and inexpensive. You try to produce something that Walmart couldn't dare produce because they don't have the time or the skill set. And then you charge whatever you want to the people who can appreciate it. Now, real quick, I'm going to cheat this a little bit. I'm going to go take this. See, that's almost a straight line here. That's a straight line there for the most part, right? We can take care of that over here in the shop style. But I call it a chop saw because I'm a construction dude. You call it a miter saw if you're not a construction dude. And all I'm going to do is just line that blade up near thereabouts my. I do this kind of stuff with the little one because it's easily managed and that feels a little less dangerous that way. And then I'm going to just come over here because that's almost a 45. We can just put it right up against the fence. You see? Because remember, we're going to taper down to that. So we want to be wider than our heart. The heart is the start. And I've learned. What's back in the song? Again, don't be so lax with this machine, this tool, as I am. I was born with one of these. Hopefully I won't chop my hand off while I'm flexing. All right. Now, we're almost, that last cut I shouldn't have done. So we're going to have to shift our whole heart over because it clipped off. You got to think about the grain of the wood you're working with. You got to think about that. I didn't, and I paid the ultimate price. So we're just going to flip it on the other side. It still serves our purpose for the most part. So we're just going to go bigger, right? Hit this edge. Come back around, and not everybody can freehand a heart, but it ain't, you know. I've been a lover for quite some time. Comes quite natural, Gladys. So basically, drawing a heart, I'll tell you how to do it. You draw like a spade, but upside down. You know what I'm saying? I'm just kidding. I know that's not instructional. I can't tell you how to draw a heart. It's a symmetry thing. And I'm weirdly good with symmetry. Boom. New heart. Like Bob. If you're old enough to remember that. All right, let's figure out what we got to do next. I'm going to look at this chat now. So you got to learn, okay. Construction takes some framing experience. And Heather says, I want that. I want to win the heart mallet. Booyaka. Do you suggest just walking onto a job site and asking for a job in framing? Says Mossy. Dad says, so you got to learn a few things to do construction. Wes knows I don't sell stuff, but woodworking is a tough general, living in general. And Mossy says, gotcha. Calvin says, Mossy, yes, walk in and let them know you want to learn the job. Now, this particular topic, Mossy, I got something for you here. I got some stuff. Hey, Wes says, no name. I saw how the cane turned out. Love how it turned out. Your content inspired me. I ended up making one of these pellet-filled mallets. That's what's up. That is what's up. So you did the dead blow mallet. That's dope. Heather says, tap the button. Whoa, $16 in Florida. I'm sorry, bro. Rodrigo was saying, what's up? Yeah. Maybe because there's a labor shortage in Florida and population is always growing. That's my belief. Probably get over 20 to 25 hours after you learn something. Framing crew work on based in Kansas pays $20 an hour. That's crazy. Thank you to No Name. That's great info. West High, everyone. Woodchucker Caleb is in the building, and now I can catch up with you guys because I've got my chats read. And let's talk about how to get a job in construction. As you can see, I'm a relatively small frame guy, so I'm not necessarily ideal in anybody's mind in construction for framing, because I can't reach an 8-foot ceiling. A 6-foot guy can reach an 8-foot ceiling. I have to stand on something. So how I learned drywall, which is very similar, is I saw guys carrying wood into an empty house, and it was 4 or 5 of them, and they were grabbing drywall and they just walked in with it. And I grabbed a sheet of drywall and I just walked in with it. And when the guy says, hey man, what are you doing? And I said, oh man, I'm just trying to help. He's like, no man, we don't need help. And I go, listen. Now, mind you, this is 1990 something. I say, listen, what's the cheapest guy here? What do you pay your cheapest guy? And at the time, it was like $10 an hour. I said, I'll work for $5. I'll work for $5 an hour, and I'll work all day for that. And at the end of the day, if you don't think I was worth it, you don't have to pay me anything. Also, if I am worth it, pay me what you pay your cheapest guy. And if you put me with your best guy and let me work with him, I work for $1 less than your cheapest guy. Like, that's a sweetheart of a deal for anybody. And he was like, yeah, why not? Yeah, okay. And I worked hard. I outworked everybody. Physically, if somebody needed something, I ran and grabbed it and I brought it to them. So the first thing is to be in some kind of physical shape. You don't have to be all muscular or do anything like that. You just have to be strong enough to do the job comfortably. Because if they see you struggling with a sheet of drywall, everybody on the crew is going to roll their eyes in their head. If they see you struggling coming up or downstairs, they're not going to trust that you're going to be able to handle this work. So the important thing is to look like you can do it. Show up with work boots. I happen to wear lugs because they are super comfortable. Don't show up in unlaced Timberlands. Don't show up you can show up in tennis shoes. That's not the worst thing in the world, but don't show up in the ones that look like they cost $400. Show up in something that looks like you're willing to tear them up if you want to. Because otherwise they won't respect you the same. I'm looking all over. I told y'all I cleaned up my shop and I've put shit everywhere. My bad. What I was looking for was this little doohickey. So you don't have to have experience if you have drive. All construction workers appreciate and respect drive. Speaking of drive, if you don't have a vehicle to get to work, you better figure out public transportation quick. And if you are in construction and the jobs move around, meaning you do this house this week, this house this week, this house this week, figure out how to get to the shop early. Get there every morning. Somebody will be glad to give you a ride. I was listening, stretching, missed you popping in, Woodchucker, says Calvin. And you gotta wear yellow, says Woodchucker. Appreciate the story and appreciate everyone in the chat with responding with great advice and feedback. Oh yeah, man, no problem. And listen, if you are going to try to get a job in framing, get you a hammer. Get you an Est-Wing hammer. They're not crazy expensive, but they are the cheapest of the respected brands, and they are the best, in my opinion, all around. Get hammers. Get you a framing hammer. Make sure it says that. Because if you show up on a framing job with a finish hammer, you're going to need another hammer. And what you can do to know the difference is to go watch my live where I explain that. It's all about hammers. You'll see it in the thing. I leave them all up forever and ever. Let me see if I can get you a better view of what I'm doing right now. Let's get this thing close to where I want it to be. And I'm going to change strategies a little bit this way, right? Let me flip that over. That way I'm not sending my sawdust into my tool. Send it away from my tool. Now we just got to find a place we want to put it. I vote for another layer of wood is what I vote for, guys. I vote for another layer of wood. Let's do that. Smack it right on there. And we're going to put it up against this maple. And then we're going to put the maple on the mallet. And then once we've made that heart, we're going to freaking work it in there. We're going to work it in there. Make a bigger thing than that thing. But we want to keep the same general idea. And learned our lesson from the last one. We'll keep our wood grain going basically in the same direction, because last time when I carved the other necklace, when you're carving down in from this wood into that one and they're going opposite ways, the tear out gets crazy pretty quickly. So I'm just going to establish where this new heart is going to go. And I'm just giving myself some reference points. And I'm sort of doing them in relationship to the heart itself, not to the wood. I'm trying to keep a certain distance the same as much as possible. And that'll help me keep my proportions good from this heart to that one. So that's going to go a little bit lower than that wood's going to go. I'll connect these dots. That'll give me a little bigger heart. Can you see? Yeah, you can see. And then I know that's the bottom. So I'll begin to connect these. And then that'll let me finish out. Just by eyeballing that best I can. More depth in that. All right. Yeah. And again, I don't know how to tell you how to do that. I'm weirdly one of them people who can draw a circle almost perfect freehand. I don't know how to explain it. All right, so now we can cut this heart out Or should we? No, we're going to do the same thing. We'll chop that little extra off and we'll glue all this together. And then we'll do that work. Line them bad boys up like that. Stick them on there. Whole piece. Let me go cut this. Wait a minute. Look over there. And I'll tell you this much. Woodworker or not, if you don't do that, instead of yanking a saw, like that's a time saver, and that's a less than $100 saw over there. So that saves you a ton of time, and it is worth it. Good morning. What am I crafting today? I'm making a heart hammer, mallet, I should say. Rodrigo, what's going on? Heather says I tried to steal my dad's S-Wing, but he stole it back. That's right. You'll remember that. You'll miss your S-Wing. He's working on a mallet for a giveaway. Go subscribe and you're in, says Calvin. That's right. Mossy, we're all a great community here. We support everyone. Thanks for being here, says Caleb. And I appreciate you, Caleb, for being here too. CJ says my roommate hates S-Wing. He had from framing, balances out of whack for him, so bent more nails than it sank. I choke up a tech and it works a treat, says CJ. Oh, buddy, I never had a problem with S-Wing in my life. I love them. I love them. Keep on chipping, Chipper, says Orami. I appreciate it. Jane, what's going on? She says hi. Scoob Doobie in the building. A chat favorite. Good to see you, Scoob. I am over here making a mess today. Continuing the tradition. Alright, we're going to chop these little pieces off of this heart because I'd rather chop it, y'all, than have extra sawdust in my lungs. I'd rather just chop it. And you know I'm going to use all these little scrappy pieces for something. Kind of goof I am. It's cheating. I know it. I know you hate it. You know I'm not a real woodworker. Please, let it go. That's not how a real woodworker would do that. Or is it? Making my way in this world today takes everything I've got. Alright, so what we're gonna do, y'all, is glue these with wood glue because the difference in the epoxy dries wonderfully fast. Pardon me, I really appreciate it. However, when you start chiseling and you're going from one wood to another wood to another wood, that is challenging. If you've also got to deal with a completely different texture and tension and friction in the glue between them, it is a ton harder. So in the spirit of that, I'm gonna go ahead and fix the rest of this heart just so I can get that centered a little bit better. But we're gonna put all these together, glue them together with wood glue. Take a little longer to dry, but in the meanwhile, we can work on this, get it together, and then 20 minutes or so, bring this back and start carving it. I'm not going to bother with a whole lot of refinement with this sander, even though it's a wonderful tool. I want my refinement to happen with hand tools. Everybody shouts out Scoob Dooby. Shortcuts need not necessarily be cheating. I appreciate that, CJ. Double tap the screen, like the live, get those numbers up. You're already here. You're already here, dog. Come see your boy. Chill. All right, so we're gonna glue these. Now these are, you could call these exotic woods, not really, but what they are is accessible fairly easily. This is walnut and this is maple, and I got them in these little, I think 1/8 inch sheets, 1/8 of an inch sheets. This one's a little narrower than that, but I think this is 1/8 of an inch, and this is a little lesser. But if you're going by mills, I don't know what to tell you. I'm American. I don't know no better. All right, so that looks like a good place. That looks like it'll center out well. Let's get our glue going. Let's get our glue going. Water down here. Is this yesterday's water? I need to hydrate. And I need to get this wood chip out of my coffee. Crisp and clean with no caffeine. She might be on spandex, even tight jeans. Don't believe in girls with Chinese cuts, but I'll take them with the weave hanging down to their butts. Oh my God, he's rapping again. I knew it. Those people always rap. Glue York, glue York. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna take that little scrap of wood, spread our glue with it, nice and even, nice and smooth, just like that one. And then we're going to place it very gently from top of the other. Excepto mi mes. Show me todo ese blonde, yellow. Yes. Alright, let's get this glue up, glued up. And I'm just gonna go right over top. I'm covered, like this is translucent, so I'm gonna go right over top of my pattern, but I still can see it. And that way I know that I'm still centered. And that's all I'm trying to do is center the wood. Got a decent amount of working time with this glue. So let's go ahead and get that together. And I'm just going to eyeball the tips of this, make sure they line up, and the centers, make sure they line up. The rest will work itself out after that. Let's move here. Knock these little edges off so it's not holding my piece off of the material. A little piece in between can keep you from being fully bonded. And that's what you want to be, fully bonded. Or fully adhered. That's what they might also call it. Now in this case, I'm just going to over apply the glue to this piece. I am not going to put it on that piece because I don't want a whole lot of excessive glue all outside of here, right? And remember, we're going to shade back so the edges are going anyway. Where's a piece that I just used? So I'll put 2 pieces. All right. Now, if you're a tile guy, what you'd want, you see how it's creating these little ridges? What you would want is for all these ridges to be going in the same direction if you're going to do that, if you've got ridges. Because you want air to be able to get out in between those ridges when you press down. You want that air to be able to make it to the edge of the material so that you don't have air pockets in there. So that is the reason why if you see tile guys tiling, that's the reason they go like that. And that's the reason I'm doing it too. And that looks good from my house. Give that a second and put that down. And then we're gonna put some clamps on it. I'm gonna scooch over just a little bit so I'm not fully engaged with that knot right there. I want it on the board, but I don't want to cut into it with my chisel if I can help it. And now that we're good there, we're going to cut this all the way over here. So we still got a big piece so that we can clamp down and not worry about hitting our clamps and that kind of thing. If we're here, we're too tight. So just a little foresight before we get going helps save some time and some energy. And that's just information from the last time that we did it. When we did do that stuff, we ended up with a lot more effort than we had to have. And let him separate from that. Nice and easy, George and Wheezy. I feel like I'm like an extended version of Pee-wee's Playhouse. Like if you went back to my origin story, you might hit something just like that. Hi everybody. Oh, you couldn't even see my heart this whole time? Everybody said, look. What clamp will we use for this? We all know we only need one. It makes no sense to have more. Wasting time, energy. It doesn't help in the process at all to have excessive clamps. We all know this. We've all seen this. The guys come in and they're like, oh, I need to put a bunch of clamps. Well, you tell them West Dudley says one clamp. That's it. Unless your piece turns a little bit. Like my piece turned a little bit. And then when that happens, obviously, you know, fool. You have to do like an additional one just to give it proper support. But then it's teetering now. You don't want a teetering piece. That's rule number one. Okay. Rule number one is in woodworking, if your piece is teetering, then it might be sliding over and working against the gravitational pull of the poles, and you don't want that. In this way, now, you know what I'm saying? Just one clamp and some support clamps. That's just, and those are not even clamps. Those are just there so that the clamp has social life while it's holding the material. But these other buddies know that they're not doing nothing. They're like just hanging out. You know how you got friends that'll come out and want to go to the club with you, but they don't have money? That's what these other clamps are. They're not doing nothing. They're just like, hey man, I'm down for drinks, you know? You need a wingman. These are wingman clamps, not hold clamps. We don't hold stuff. This stuff. That one right there in the middle, that's the one that's doing the work. These guys are the friends that got laid off and they just need something to get by for a second. But they don't do anything. They're not important to the process. Yeah, you just need one clamp. Forget those. Just get this one, because that's all you need. That's all you need. Maybe one back here, but yeah, never mind. You don't need that. You don't need that. You don't need that. No point wasting your precious money. Clamps, silly. Makes no sense. There. I wish somebody would see me putting a bunch of clamps on my woodwork. If you're doing it right, why would you even need a bunch of clamps? If you can just get that one right there in the middle. That's it. That's it. Push all of these out of the way. All right. Remember, we're sitting. One clamp. And some accessories. Stylish. And why wouldn't you? All right, here we go. We got this cane now. We got to do something with it. It's Clamp City. Clamp City. Yeah. You're enjoying the country, though we're in Rottenburg. CJ says, speaking of Germans, we're making a Hassenpfeffer. What? What's a Hassenpfeffer? Blackie says something that I can't understand. What's going on? German? Oh, I missed the whole conversation. Calvin says, my parents are in Germany. Man, that is wild. Blackie says, greetings from Germany. I'd like to work with wood. I'm glad to see you, Blackie. Thanks for coming in here and working with wood. Get down, get down. Allison's from the UK and she's saying what's going on, and I appreciate her showing up. What's up, Allison? Man, you guys are in here speaking the German. I don't even want to try my German accent. I can do Austrian, because we all only know one. All right. Back to the cave. ASMR coffee sipping. Okay. So what we've got to do here is two things. We got to get all this. I didn't realize that the stain that I had, it's oil based. That stuff took forever to dry. And it also got stained all over my cane. So I just got to sand that down. It had to happen anyway. But we're going to work on this a little bit today. Drink me a little bit more coffee. You know what? I'm going to finish this coffee. I'm going to grab some water, because I need that. And then we're going to work this cane out. So. And yeah, this is the one where we've got the magic cross in it. I don't know if you can see this or not. I'm going to hold it right there until you pop up on the monitor. And then it follows. Right. We should get that. And then say on this side, if all goes right, we get that. So, we'll work on the Gonzo cane today, while we wait on this other thing to get together. To dry up. Be back. Don't you worry. Say, hey, baby, I got you, honey. All right, take this out. Cause last time it cut off on me, and then y'all couldn't hear me, and so I'm gonna be right back with some water. Maybe I put some water in my coffee cup. That'll be. That's the way. Yo, yo, yo. We back. We back. I'm gonna start coming back from water like a rapper. Yo, yo, yo. I'm back in the building. Yo, West does it. Crew. Yo, let me turn my headphones up. Hold on. Turn my headphones up, yo. Turn my headphones up. Yo, yo. Y'all can hear me? Y'all can hear me right now? Gonzo with the dragon eyes. Pouring wine before line. Sheesh. I hear you. I hear you. Listen. If somebody's smiling, it's a happy hour somewhere, right? So let me see. I'm over here with that Sanders going. You know what I'm saying? That old school Democrat in the ashtray. Bernie Sanders. Okay. Luckily, it's for the marinade, says CJ. There you go. Marinade. Oh, a wine marinade. Let's hear more about the wine marinade. What are we doing? A red sauce? Oh, you said marinade, not marinara. Not bad. But I'd still love to hear. I enjoy the fine art of chiffering as well. I'm just kidding. That's an example of how much I don't know. But I do enjoy cooking. Can't lie. When I was watching Goodfellas, and they were talking about how women kind of cook the day-to-day meals, but when the events came around, the men kind of took over the kitchen. That's kind of how it is over here. Except the day-to-day parts I do, too. I like cooking. It's very relaxing. It doesn't feel much different than some of the other things that I do. So we're just going to give this thing a collar. And I'm just sort of freestyling the thickness of it, hitting nearabouts where I need. I'm flipping it, connecting the dots. That's a pretty easy way to go about that. Sort of eyeballing to keep the same reveal. That hopefully won't be a problem. That's another way to go about it, but you can easily measure from there to there, there to there. You can do the math and it'll work out just fine. If you opt to build a Gonzo cane with the evil eyes. Early morning, woodworking and trees aflame. we had some conversations about how to go about putting that wire in. And I have yet to get to a comfortable place with that idea. Okay, okay. Chardonnay rabbit stew. Took over the meat prep maybe. Okay. Around here, whoever feels like cooking cooks and everyone pitches in for events. Amen to that, CJ. Amen to that. Amen to that. Cheers. Good morning, water. Are you guys good with this perspective? Can you see enough that, that this seems functional? I put a little clamp here and there on this thing and start going around it, but I really don't have a better idea than what I had before, which was to put my saw on that and then try to press the wire on and then send it down. I just didn't have the greatest of success with that before. I gotta figure out how to do that. Maybe a thinner blade and a thicker wire, maybe. I swear I gotta find that wire. It is. Here it is. All right. This is my pre-stripped copper wire. It might not look bad. But if I fail, I can still just do a ribbon with it, right? But I got no idea how to make that stay in there. Got no idea. We could test it though on something smaller, same wood, oak. I have some oak scraps around here. I don't throw jack away. Interestingly enough, this is a piece of the oak from the original cutout that I did with the cane. So this will be a good example, a good something to start with. I'm going to chop a little piece off of this. Boys, protect your necks. And I just was reminded by my miter saw that oak is tougher to cut. So I got to think about that as well. So first thing I'm going to do is get my little Japanese style pull saw, this little small one, and make a little cut in here and see what I got to do to get this thing to stay. Let's clamp it down so we don't get a bunch of extra wiggle we don't need. This time we should need 14 or 15 clamps at least. If we can't get that many, Jesus, God help us. God help us. My left hand always wants to twist the wrong way. It's weird. Sick of it. I might exchange it for another right hand. That way I have all these gloves fitted. All right. I'm going to do this time just to keep it straight. Essentially just made a little dent. That's it. That oak is no cliche, strong like oak. Told you we need 14 14, 15 clamps. But I am just on the tip here, so it's not the ideal place to clamp, but I'm losing space over here. I didn't want to put the handle up top. Weirdly, my left hand will always unfasten properly. What's up with that though? What's up with that dog? So this time we're doing some practice. This is not, you know, y'all not always with me during the experimental stage. But yeah, you are. I'm just usually doing it on a piece and I'm willing to ruin it. But I just don't want to wreck this cane just yet. I don't want to wreck it. So we're going to practice precision. Now, question is, do we start with this seems much smaller, right, than the opening, but I don't know if you can't just press that in there. Like, that's not the way to go. Copper's pretty soft, you know what I mean? What's up, Herbal? How you doing? How you doing? Oh, snap, I'm missing CJ giving me the code over here. Epoxy once you got the wire laid. Okay. So listen, get that there. And I'm going to just see what pressing that in will do. We've got plenty of options here. But first, we're going to do another one next to it. So we got some comps. But now that I've got kind of that thing started, I'm going to put some angle on it. Right? Let's see if I can create a little bit of an opening in there, you know what I'm saying? Give that wire somewhere to go beneath the surface. Tighten up, shout it, tighten up. George is getting upset. All right, here we go. Slow pulls, keeping that angle, because I want to keep the entry point pretty much the same, but I do want to bottom out with a taper down here. I don't know if this is going to work, but in theory, it's what I would suggest. It's a semi-sound idea. Copper is such a soft metal that might be able to pass in it pretty easy. But we're going to have to see in the second dilemma that I've also not worked out at all. Where do we start and where do we stop with copper, and how do we get it to look like one piece at whatever union it's going to have to hit in there. All right, so right now, let's agree on this. So I'm going to grab a quick little sandpaper right next to me. Right here. And I'm going to run it over. That's all I'm going to do. Calvin is in North Carolina. He might recognize that North Carolinian accent. That's how I'm a people up there, Tom. Know it all over. Sort of a slow drag. A little bit of a twang. Alright. So now we got a nice clean piece of copper here. Happy Saturday, Mr. West, says Tim. What's up, Tim? Tim, did you get in the drawing, right? I got it all written down. So I wonder if I can approach this from the side here. Just for reference, I'm curious. It seems to be going in there. Now, I don't know how long it will stay in there. Gosh, it doesn't seem like the best of ideas to just force it down. Gotta make sure I got enough depth when I do. Just clean up the inside of that. Basically dado I'm making. This might be the smallest dovetail ever doved. Man, I can thread that through there, but I'm not going to be able to do that and turn corners on that cane. I'm not. So let's try this way. Let's just try it. It's either going to work or it's not going to work. Reminds me of that newscaster. It's like, do it live. Yeah, keep them rolling. Do it live. Let me get this copper snipped. It is such a soft metal. You can't just twist it and pop it. Can. It takes forever. Let me find. I gotta have a wire cutter here. Oh shit. Just use this one. Right here. 2 feet away from me. Here's where we need a hammer and not a mallet. Then we also need a little piece of metal. Expect to stay relatively flat. Well, we had that handy. And we'll go to our bucket of tools. Get the old automotive. It's got a metal head. And we just gonna flat. Just want to make that straight. Just gonna knock out that curvature. Straight enough, I think. Now we know size-wise, looks like it'll slide in there and fit if we give it. No, ain't going easy. Get back out of there, boy. All right, we're going to go with our original plan, which was to press it. Decided to give it a shot. Okay. We need a little flat piece of metal. Where can we find that? Right here. Because you're a dang contractor. That's a frame and tie. That's what holds your house together. So it should be strong enough. Put that right there. Make sure we're in our little hole. I am going to make that somewhat level, but put something underneath it. All right. Now we're going to get what I believe to be a better F-clamp, slightly better in some ways, because the handles are better, for sure, no doubt about it. Argue with you more. All right, so we're just going to try to center that, press it straight down. See if it goes. Didn't. It didn't at all. So maybe we need to open it up a little bit more. Like I said, I'd rather sneak up on a thing than overwork it, you know what I mean? So we're gonna put another cut up against this thing. We gotta keep from messing up our stuff, y'all. So I'm gonna go right next to that line. So I'm just gonna pull off a smidgen. This is somewhat delicate work. And it might even be knife work, right? Might even be knife work. Let's try it. Let's try it. Because we're barely going down that thing. And I do a lot of cheap tool commentary, and this is one of those times. This thing right here, I did get off of the old Timber a while back, and it's been fantastic. Like, it just is. Did a pretty decent job of breaking that edge. Is it gonna get the wood out? Now this is a scribing knife. That's what it's advertised for. Not necessarily for carving. But I have not had a regret yet. He said just before losing his index finger. Just gonna break out that little bit that's in there. Shallow line. Now, if we had a chisel that could get in there, that'd be fantastic. But we don't. And we gotta figure out how to do this in a way that's not gonna A, drive me crazy, and B, not mess up the work, which would go back to the aforementioned driving me insane. So, you know, after a little bit, you know, it don't take the much mucking around before you go, you know what, forget it. And I can get there. I don't want to. So I gotta figure out an effective way to do this thing. Pardon me for my nonsensical ramblings. Words of Steve Martin. Loud mouth malcontent. that is an opening that metal will easily fall into. And I think that's just what's going to have to be. And then we go back with the epoxy. Let's see how easily we can cut this corner, because we can always put 4 pieces on and lock them together. If we could cut a 45, that doesn't look like a pinch. Can we sand a 45? That looks like a good corner. Yes. Yes, we can. That's a good 45. Perfect. Man, I didn't even read the chat. Somebody was giving me advice. Let me see. Tim says you might need to be able to kneel it down and do the curves. CJ says a dumbbell is an anvil to do that rock. A bucket of tools. Mallet and a thin sheet of metal would work well too. Yep. CJ says, do I have any tiny files? A knife would definitely work. All good advice. Plywood says, I actually wanted to go 30 miles and watch Bear and the Boss Lady live. Oh, that's awesome, Ply. That's what's up. Good to see you in the chat too, by the way. Mike pops in. Would it do? Heather, I agree. That's awesome that they're that close. Calvin says, could you nail in one end and wrap it around and maybe route a dado in the sides? Yeah, that was my first thought to do, and that's what I did kind of on my original one. The problem was, because I did try this once on a mallet. It didn't work out great. It looked fantastic at first though. And I went around it and I ended up punching in one side, and I went around and came around the other side, bent it over, and it was hard to get it to line up. It like kept kicking the corner just out, just a hair, and it drove me mad. Mike just popped in and said, what it do? He says it seems interesting. Down. What's going on, Robert? How you doing today? We got Robert G in the building, and Mike in the building, and Calvin, and Plywood. Man, y'all are doing it. Calvin says, I'm just BSing, Wes. I have no idea. I've never tried to inlay copper wire. Shoot, me either. Well, I did. I wasn't successful. So I am open and down for all the advices today. But that does make sense overall. So I think that's enough. I think that's enough for me to go, yeah, we can do it. So without any further experimentation, let's put it all on the line. Let's risk it all. One man, one cat, no turning back. Mike will make it. And like, Wes is wrecking stuff. Wes wrecks it. Wes will wreck it. Y'all get an opportunity, man. Head over to Mike is Making Stuff. Head over to Dad's Workshop. Him and Calvin are co-conspirators of helping my channel grow. And I appreciate them very much. I do. You go over to Mike's channel, you're going to get a completely different vibe than you're going to get at Dad's Workshop with Calvin. It's like, you know, when you have two good television shows you liked, if you're old enough to remember television. You know what I mean? Like sometimes Friends is on, Sometimes Seinfeld is on. Whole different vibes. Equally enjoyable, I think. Calvin is making long and short-term projects. There's a set of bunk beds that is the most woodworking beds I've ever seen. He's doing the whole thing with traditional woodworking joinery, which means he's building beds for human beings to sleep on with 0 fasteners, no metal parts, just some fastening systems that I haven't seen at all before, which is like a pass-through with a really cool little wedge that pulls everything together. I've never made anything like that. Meanwhile, Mike is making a lathe out of a treadmill and added some technology to it, and it is ridiculously impressive. Got a lot of stuff going on over at both places, and since they both free, don't play yourself. Go over there and check them out. And if you want additional content, both of these guys have members only stuff that they drop all the time, especially Mike's shooting the poop and his mallet giveaway, and the other videos that are on those channels, man. I'm not even going to spoil it for you, but you're in for a treat. You're in for a treat. $0.20 off your subscription if you go over there and say, that's all you got to do. All right. So I made a channel around there. We're going to use our little test piece to see if it's good enough. Look, because that ain't even coming out, man. I was in there, yo. That kind of worked. All right. What if I do all of this and this cane just ends up looking country as all get out because it's just overdone and whack? Then we will learn what not to do is the answer to that question. But in the meantime, we're going to keep smacking these things in there. Mister, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Good for showing up. I appreciate you. Mrs. Shoop in the building. Echo Woodcraft's in the building. And Tim is up in here. Mister says, I like that saw. It's a little cheapo purchase, man. It worked out really good. I think I got this from a place where boats dock and let off cargo. The name would imply it. Just kidding. Hartford. I think I got this at Hartford. So I'm just widening this little opening. That's all I'm doing. By shifting these teeth a little bit. Got a little file when I go in. Enough to do what I need to do, get what I need to get, represent from a hood. Eventually it all turns into fine carpentry or fine woodworking, I believe, if you're doing it right. Get a little bit better, refine techniques, refine tools. And in this case, a refined algorithm. So I do thank you if you're showing up and you're staying. I apologize if you showed up and got disappointed. But if you become a member and you tell me what to do, my members will tell you this ninja is for the people. Just running out of 45. That might not be quite a 45. You have to kind of work towards that as the ultimate goal. But I'm doing it to make a little channel here that will hopefully accept this wire as it's dearly beloved. I'll throw some prints in there for you. Dad says nothing wrong with a little country. Tim Reed says maybe a slice of exotic wood instead of metal. Tim, you know what, man? You get out of here with these brilliant ideas. What is this guy? That is a good idea. And I do have some little exotic woods laying about. A nice little inlay might be nice. Might be easier. I'm mostly doing this on site. And creeping over a little bit at a time, like I said, I don't want to overshoot. Don't want to oversaw, don't want to over remove. The only thing we want to exceed here is the expectation. Dynamite. This is a fantastic little saw. You need something that you can be delicate with. Let's see. We need some more wire. Got one right here. Ain't got another in there. No, that ain't long enough. That's what she said. Yeah, we're gonna cut these bad boys separate. I don't know. Let's see how easily they'll go in first. Because if we can get it and then we can just tap it around that corner, you know what I mean? If that'll work, that'll work. You feel me? Oh, almost lost it. Let's clean up enough of it to do that. And let's see if this one will get us 1.5 of the way there, then we'll use that as a measuring stick. That's 1, 2, that's 3 of the sides, and then we go here. That'll make sure we got at least all 4 covered. And we'll give ourselves extra, just in case we need tail end to just wiggle with. But the 2 things we are going to do is clean it up ahead of the time. And this is harsh. This is 100 grit right here. I got no time for the shenanigans. All I want to do is get to the right color. And I think I'm getting it. This process also straighten that wire out a little bit too, which is also quite useful. Plywood says, I might as well say I like watching what you do. Man, that's nice of you. That's nice of you. But, I don't know, live might be nice. Let's see. Plywood said, oh, I'm sorry, I missed you. Tim says, thank you, sir, and you're very welcome. Eco Woodcraft says, you should get an old yoga mat, put under your project. It'll help keep it in place. That's a good idea. Mister says, yo, Wes, great freaking job on that relief carving right there. Respect. By sight and hand. So sick, dude. Oh, appreciate it, man. Big hearts. Big hearts. I'm going to hit that little heart thing. I wonder what it does. I see it up there all the time, but I don't know what it does, so I'm going to just hit it like 1,000 times. All right. Also, the like button. It's available. I don't know. You know what's wild is it doesn't let me see the actual likes in real time. I hope not. I hope that's the case, because right now I can see like 3. I got 3 likes according to my screen. Hopefully I'm mistaken. That is the case. I ain't mad. I still love you, baby. I'm gonna open these up just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Alright, so 2 things. We're gonna trust that our cane is strong and can handle a little bit of pressure. So we're going to take that, just the rubber part of this mallet right here. We're going to give it a shiz out. Kind of got in there. Like it's stuck. I wonder if I turn it over, right? And I use the desk, because this is a hardwood, relatively speaking. Right? And I do that. Then I give it a good It did nothing. Did nothing. 38 according to mine, says CJ. That's what's up. Glad to know. Few people like me. Glad to know it, and I appreciate it. I don't require the lights and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And I also don't require you to pet my cats if you come over to my house. I don't. But I will judge you. I will. Both things can be true. Just think of it like that. You just came in, you're like, oh, there's a kitty over there in the corner, a little light kitty. Pet the kitty. Pet the kitty. You know you're the sensitive type. You're in here watching woodworking. Over here watching. You're sensitive and you're loving and kind. And you wouldn't dare walk by a little mewing kitty. not choose to pet. But you might be that kind of person. I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to judge you. It's going in there, man. Now from this point is where I really kind of get a little concerned. Because I need that to keep coming around, and this would be the moment that I would want to put glue in there. You know what I mean? But we're sort of experimenting. We don't know what's going to happen. Let's give it a shot. Okay. We'll do it live. Let's go. Let's do it live. Where is the super glue? Oh, by the way. I like a lot of super glues. We all do, of course. Gel is so much better to work with. I don't know why people don't do that. It takes up more space. You don't get runs everywhere. Just do the gel, people. So much more manageable. Ugh. I don't like, you all know I don't like to tell you what to do, man. I believe in autonomy. 100%. All right. Let's get one of these unnecessary clamps. And let's see if we can just push that thing right where we want it to be. We're just going to use this as a press. I wish I could show you better so you can see how I get it without making a mess. All right. This is the West Desert perspective here of this thing. And as I turn the clamp with my finger, I'm going to try to close that gap. You see it working. I think, let's go to the other side. Right? It feels good. Now, we got to figure out how to do that in a way it's not going to ruin this. So now let's just send them around. Remember, this is metal, right? If it's worst case, enough pressure, it will mold into that because it's soft metal, right? Oh, I'm so happy with these results so far, y'all. I'm happy with these results so far. This is the CA glue. I mean, which is super glue. Let's not fool ourselves. And what CA glue does, and we don't have to use the accelerator per se. But we can. An accelerator for CA glue is a real simple thing. It's just regular old alcohol. And then people are like, isopropyl synthesis alcohol. I'm like, shut your mouth. It's just alcohol, fam. Don't get crazy about these branding tactics. All right, we're going to go in there with the CA glue again. I'm going to bend that boy over, put pressure and tension this away If you want to clamp this down and do that, you could do it, but for me, I know I'll have to take it right back out of those clamps, and I'm lazy. Started with the plastic, trying to be soft on it. Doesn't seem to be the way to go. It's the metal. That's what's getting the business done. And the good thing is, this is oak. It's strong. We don't have to worry about beating it up too bad. We don't want to go crazy, but you know, we're being fairly light, despite the sound of my knocking. And now, Calvin, comes the moment of truth, where I'm gonna use my nail punch, and let me show you up close. I'm gonna just use my nail punch, send that down, because see, I'm sitting up proud right there. Fold that over, and then when I pull this down, I'll measure it, cut it just shy, and then force it over and close that gap. I think is going to be the way to go, because I'm not going to be able to cut any of that metal close right there. Yeah, Calvin, I just I'm sorry, I should be referring to you as Dad's Workshop. Those of you who don't know, this was also, he was telling me this is a good way to get around this thing. So I'd be trying to give up the information to the folks. You know what I mean? CJ says, do I have a P.O. box set up for the channel yet? I don't. I've been procrastinating on that. I am going to go do it, though. Maybe Monday. Maybe Monday. Hey, yo, June. Ooh. Says hi. What's up, man? What up, buddy? What up, buddy? All right, so let's go ahead and figure out how to get that nail punch situation set up. And we already got some nippers. Situation will arise. Let's get some glue in there. So when we put that tip down, it'll stay down. It's not often you're going to see a hammer on a woodworking workshop, but today's your day, fam. Yes. Yes. Makes me want an evil villain laugh. It went so well. All right. I'm going to fold that over. Clip a little bit off the tip. Yoink. This is like the next level. If this works, evil villain laugh, and you guys have to be my willing minions. You don't have to be it, but you just have to accept that I'm going to talk as if you were. Because the evil villain doesn't have real friends, but he does have minions and lackeys for support, you know, because we all need support, man. We all need somebody to help us be a better us. And that's what evil villainry is all about. All right, first we're going to tighten this up until that wire is pushed into that side over there, and we are flush the outside edge, which I think we have accomplished just now. Just now, I do this. I never want to fight Danny's girlfriend. All right. Get one of these unnecessary clamps off of there. And we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to push this down just a bit with the hammer. But the pressure's going this way because I want to bend that corner tight. I really want that corner to be tight. I think we're getting what we want here. I think we're getting what we want here. Loosen it up a little bit. Just to check. And I'm even going to do a little corner to corner pressure. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if I can get that in a good position for you to view it while I do it. And I wasn't even trying to rhyme just now, yo. It just happened, B. Just be happening. Can I get that corner to lock in, though? It's kind of pulling it around that corner. Let's see how we're doing on this side. It's good. It's good. Should we just keep going with that? Flip it from this way. Let me make sure. I kind of want to get you a good view of this. I don't want you to have the best view possibly of the situation. Don't know if that's possible. Let's just get off of it altogether. This is what I got. I need that to press down. I need that to stay put, but I need that to press in. So, use your imaginations if you can't see it, but you'll at least have the elements available to you. I love you, you're my girl. Say hi. I sing when I'm nervous. Like self-soothing through the anxiety. And then I lift weights because I'm tough. So many coping mechanisms, so little time. Let's try it again over here. Because again, I do want that corner in there. Maybe I should change the head to that side. So, can you see what I'm doing? We'll let that sit for a little bit while the CA glue sets up. Double tap that screen, says everybody. I appreciate all of y'all. Oh, my eyes, paraphrase, says Tim Reed. Mr. says, I've been fascinated by the medium of relief carving for a long time. Really? Interesting. I hope that I have not disappointed you. All right. Now, we've done all that, and we basically got one of 4 things we got to do. We got to do that 3 more times. So, let me stop celebrating too soon. Get back to work. You know what I mean? Cheers to you for hanging out and jumping in the chat. I think it does something for me to not be able to see on my screen the actual numbers of the chat. So that's probably good for my self-esteem. Alright, got a little gentle chaos going on here. Now, again, we're just kind of gauging our depth here as we go. I'm thinking about half, a little bit beyond half the depth of my teeth in this thing. That's all I'm doing. I'm going to go that, I'm going to go straight, this way, and go that way. And I'm trying to make a smaller opening than I have subterranean. I don't know if that's the right term for wood, but you know what I'm talking about. Who are new here, I'm terribly sorry. I'm doing the best I can. But so far, so good. So far, so good. Now y'all don't see, I'm putting my finger here on the back side of the blade like that when I post up. Got my fingers and hands down here so that I've also got pressure on the cane to the table. And then, boom, that's how that's happening. Keeping my line straight, right? I can cut the air straight if I've got 3 points of support. 1, 2, 3. We gotta adjust our support sometimes. Still want 3 points of contact. And I'm not relying on gravity and power. I've got one thumb over here, these fingers over here, and I'm applying some pressure, but it's more of a clamping pressure than a gravity pressure. Both work. I'm just short on gravity personally, so I have to rely on other things. Again, we get to our depth. Make sure our corners are lining up decent. Woo! I almost bit myself. Let's talk safety. I would suggest, if you are going to be using your hand as a support while you've got a tool, maybe gloves wouldn't be a bad idea. Now, here's a moment where I'm going to explain why I'm better than you, and I don't want you to take it personally. I'm an old guy with ugly old hands that have been through the test of time. So this saw is not going to hurt them without a lot of really heavy pressure, and there's not a lot of heavy pressure in a job like this. But if you do have thin skin, it would be wise of you to protect your hands. And that is the only way that I'm better than you, is because I have been beating on my hands longer than you. But don't worry, you can aspire to have man hands as well. Now, again, my contact points have changed, right? Now I'm relying on that a little bit. Also relying on some downward pressure, but that's 1 point. Here's another 2 points. And then there's my butt and my seat and my body, and I'm also going to hold that table as I do this. Still leaving availability of my thumb to hold the back side of my saw to keep it steady. Again, we're not putting a ton of pressure on this. That saw will cut without your muscle. If you don't cut, you got to work on your saw, not your muscle. Once I've got that where I want it, I still drop my thumb so I can still rest my saw against it. Keeps me in the same place. And that's what I'm doing. But I am away from those teeth. For the other side. Cutting sort of an angular groove here. Sort of a dado. Sort of a bow tie. Not bow tie, what do you call those things? Dovetail. Sort of a dovetail is the idea. Sort of. Done that, we've kind of learned our depth, right? So just gonna make sure we maintain that. We shouldn't have to flip this quite as often and go over all of them 13 times like we did the first, but it might take a few. Be patient with yourself. Allow the process, allow the moment to be the experience. The experience of the artist. I'm stretching when I call myself that, I realize. But in case you are one, the experience of the artist is not in the sale of the art. I've known no artists who get excited about selling artwork. Every one of them is excited about the process of what I just did, what I just learned. Make no mistake, an artist is always experimenting, and everything they'll ever be proud of was an experiment that went well. And the best ones are the experiments that went well, but different than you intended in the first place. And some magic happened. You don't know why, but it did. That's the moment for the artist. That's the part that makes the art worthwhile, and the work worthwhile for the artist. It's not the sale. A proper artist will sleep on a couch. Not that they shouldn't be wealthy. I think they should. That will never be the main driver for the actual artist worth the art, worth your time, worth your dollars. I swear I need to build me a soapbox, don't I? So I can stand on it properly. I'm telling you how to live your lives. Unsolicited. On YouTube, of all places. Sheesh. Who is this guy? Who is this guy? And who asked him? That's the second question. in my Conor McGregor. Who the disco? Who the bloody hell is this going? The next question is, do we have enough material in this leftover piece to do all sides? That's one side, two sides, three sides, four. Oh my God. Barely. So I'm going to start in the middle right here. Right here. But first, a little squeezy glue. And because I am not putting the accelerator on this, and because it's gel, I do have the advantage of being able to apply this without the panic of, oh no, it's going to set up on me. Gives me plenty of working time, and it's thick, so it doesn't just soak into the wood and go away. It sits on top, and then when you put the pressure, it'll work its way in to both materials. This is the way that I'm going to do this. This little handy tip is also a great treat overall. All right, I'm going to go again, but we're going to start halfway through right there. That's all we're going to do. We are sunk. We're going to put our punch there so it holds. And then we're going to turn it, pull it tight. I can feel that starting to work its way off my finger when I did that. I probably should have drilled a hole, sunk it first, which was Calvin's original idea, which was brilliant. I should have taken heed. But I did. Now I'm paying the ultimate price. All right, let's go ahead and pull him. Stop it. Isn't that how dog owners talk to their dogs? Drop it. You gotta put the bird down. Drop it. This is like a cane Corso. Like, drop it. Excuse me, your dog has my Volkswagen. Put it down. Alright, pull that a little bit tight with our little fingers. I always start at this soft end, right? And I end up with that metal end doing the work. This is harder on this one. I think I didn't go quite as wide. But remember, soft metal, right? So there are some advantages to that. I'm going to go ahead and remove this clamp over here too. I'll let that be for a second, just in case we need this. Lock that in again. Again, this pressure here, pushing this metal into that wood. If we get enough pressure, it just goes, man. Just gotta be close, but it'll go. Hopefully we won't crack our wood, but enough pressure and it'll go. Bet you never seen that before. Meanwhile, that piece went in flawlessly. Words of dear old Johnny Carson. Wild, wild, crazy stuff. Wild stuff. Golly, I'm so old, man. I'll be doing references and then embarrassing myself. I'll be embarrassed for myself sometimes. Like, come on, man. You telling me 1,000? Old dudes aren't cool. Just not. I'm going to do something a little bit awkward. Get the back of that thing. Here we go. It's soft metal. The advantages and disadvantages to that. I don't want to wreck it. Don't want to chop it up too bad. Do want to push this end in though, nice and tight. Now I'll bend this over, cut it short, drop down to where it's supposed to. Let's see what we got, what we got. Lightning will strike it. What? Let's see. I missed a bunch of conversation. Plywood says, Dad's workshop, does that mean you'll watch my live stream when I do one? For sure. That's the saw. It was too short for the mallet handle chisel. I'm at the mallet handle channel. What? I think it's big enough for a workpiece. To be honest, he's making me super nervous not securing his workpiece. Yikes. Oh, this is back when I was murdering my fingers. All right, I'll be so lost on the chat when I get locked into my project mind. My bad, y'all. But it seems to work out. Oh man, I started hearing voices upstairs. I was about to go charge up there and go crazy. I forgot my bedroom is just above. My wife is just watching TV. I'm just not used to it. Now I wonder if I should dye this after I cut these, because I don't want the dye to run through. All right, let's get back to this sawing. Let's get back to this sawing. Can y'all see? I have to take a second. My camera's a little bit delayed with my monitor. Again, here we are. Finger on the back side of this. I'm letting it rub against my fingernail or the back side of my knuckle here, right? I'm not letting it sit on my finger tip, because then I could hit it with the blade. So I'll do that with my fingernail. I'll kind of dig the nail in and let it start. Things established close to the depth I want. Then I'm going to 45 into that depth. And as it tears out material, my angle will change a little bit, little bit. So eventually, I have a 45 degree. In there. Then I'm going to go the other side and do the same thing. Start at about 22 to 15 degrees maybe. Keep working. And again, if you have not been a carpenter your whole life, hold your material down. That's my advice. But if you have been a carpenter your whole life, do what you want. You got insurance, right? Like Cameron. Fingers get cut every day, B. You'll be alright. Saw is moving that fast because I'm being that light. Barely got that thing in my hand. That way I can can move small pieces, small amounts, not too much stress, not too much pressure, and just keep working my way around. Again, keep the thumb technique. First, this corner here, because that line there is what governs it, right? I'm gonna be right next to that. Get that started. Then I'll try to straighten up and line up with the rest of my line. But I'm looking straight down on my blade, but I'm in that groove. But my thumb's back here, keeping me from going away from that line. And I'll just lower it down, as I saw, until I have defined a little saw channel. And then once I got that, I just keep pulling. It's a pull saw. That's when it's going to cut, when it's pulling. And if you're nervous about jumping off the wood, just get it in there, pull. You don't even have to do a forward stroke. It won't be efficient. And now I'm going to work on my bevel. I don't know if you'd call that a cradle or what, but remember, all else fails, pull saw, pull. It's doing what I want it to do, because I'm doing what it wants to do. And now we're just going to connect those two lines we've already established. Just come down and roll right over our little hump to our next line. Now again, pull saw in my groove. Follow that 45. So you see how we got all that play? That's what we want. Clean it up a little bit. Oh man, I gotta get better with my camera angles. Sorry. But we need more wire. Oh, Calvin, that's a good idea. If you take a cold chisel and flatten out the entire copper wire, it's possible before you even start wrapping it around the cane, it will make it more malleable. I'm also thinking if I just heat it up, I'll just go throw it in the microwave. Just kidding, y'all. Don't put metal in the microwave. I'm joking. But you can't heat it up with fire, flame, something like it. Might not be a bad idea. people coming in here and giving us some helpful hints. This process right here actually is sort of doing that, ain't it? This is straightening it out a little bit. It's certainly warming it up. But it's kind of giving it a nice little texture though, right? I don't know how much that'll help us or prevent. This is warm already in my hand. Definitely more malleable this way. Is that word malleable or malleable? I'm gonna trust the teacher on that one. Again, speaking of trust the teacher, I'm gonna drill a little tiny hole right there so we can put this in there like how good Brother Calvin talked about. I think that's a good idea. Where is my bit box? Oh, it's outside. It's all right. Should we go outside and get it is the question. Yes. Let's go get it. Double check, make sure it's not in here. I jump back. Look at the bits. All right. Bit box. I need some small. All right. Now. A little big. A little bit big. That looks right. That looks right. We'll do it live. We'll do it live. All right. Oh, that's a little wider than our opening. I don't know if I want to do that. Hold on. Jeez. Even that's a little thick. Thick. Let's go with a 3/32 bit. That's gonna work. You know what we should do? Just do 2 holes, man. We'll countersink them both. We'll send them both down there. We're gonna try it. I think we got better techniques than when I was doing it on my own. I've got friends. Eco Woodcraft says nice. I agree. Nice. I wish I could get y'all a little bit closer, man. I really do. This thing ain't always exactly what I wanted to do, you know what I mean? Again, we're going to put the CA glue gel in here. And then we're going to start wrapping wire. Rapid fire, wrapping wire. We'll do it live. All right. So we're in our first hole. Oh man, that was... Just pretend I didn't say that. As we go, this happens a lot. This happens a lot. You get better at the thing that you're doing, and by the end of it, you do one little thing differently, you immediately become disappointed in the first 2 things you did. You're like, oh man, it could have been super clean. I really don't like beating on this like that, but I'm a man. It's what I do. See, it jumped out a little bit on that side. Not this side, but I have to straighten it out. Seems to be going all right. All right, all right, all right. You just gotta keep living, man. Just gotta keep living. You expect some McConaughey on West Desert Live. But you never know what you're gonna get. Alright, let's pause. Not like in a camera in Mace way, clearly trying to compensate for their secret identities, secret love for one another. But just in a hold on for a second way, the way people who are not secretly being who they are would say. All right, so I'm gonna just turn that. So now, see we got, it's just gonna go right down into that hole. Hopefully, that's the goal. Sweet mother of pearl. Ha! That look good. And then we're going to take our needle nose pliers, right? We hit both of those sides at one time. With the needle nose. Now, we are what they would call mechanically fastened as well. Now, I got the feeling that on this one side, I don't know why it's this side, but because of it, we're a little bit raised. Here, this feels like right at the surface, maybe a little bit below, a little bit above, just a little bit above. But over here, we are obviously protruding a little bit. So when we do some sanding, we might be able to get that out. But right now, pretty happy. Pretty happy with that look anyway. And we will continue to work. We got one more to do on the very bottom. It's the narrowest one in terms of the thickness of the cane. So that's the one we want to be most precise with, because if we go too deep, we make the cane weak. I don't want to do that. Take a sip of water. Take a sip of water. Delicious. Get right back to our line. We decide when you're doing this, you don't want to go center of the line. You want to choose the teeth to just the right of the line or just the left of the line. One of the two, right? And then function that way from then on. I usually try to go with the most visible side, which is, for me, from my perspective, this side. And I stop my saw there, and then that way I can see it the whole ride, right? And I'm going light, I'm not going deep, because if it slips, it's more apt to stay put. Being light, not too heavy-handed, you'll jump, and then you can potentially make a scar in a place you don't want it to be. So again, I'm going to get on top of that line, pull, pull, just make it simple. Once I got my depth, change my angle, do it how I've been doing it. And you may want to use something other than your finger and your naked skin. You may not be the adventurer that I am. Growing me, what's going on? How you doing? How you doing? Roland is spitting facts about the volume of personnel here. And I'm the only one bringing cupcakes. Somebody else has to bring the cupcakes to the next meeting. And a like would be sufficient. jump off and your stroke is light, no problems. If you jump off that line too soon and your stroke is heavy, well, we all know what happens when a heavy stroke is misguided, lands in the wrong place. End up with a big problem than you started with. We're in a big problem solving game, not the big problem making business. Let's go and connect these dots here. Wonderful. Angle and got a little aggressive for a second because I had to catch this line over here. Had to. I don't want to be skewed. Again, if the grain is giving you a weird time, remember it's a pull saw. That's all you got to do. Oak is tough for everyone. Give me a little bit more connectivity right here. Just want to make sure I'm deep enough so I don't have too much protruding. Maybe a more sophisticated connoisseur would do this with maybe a router or something. I don't know. I'm going to put two neighboring holes right next to one another. And I will gently fill them and their neighbors with glue. What? Oh, here it is. It's about to trip. About to trip, yo. I don't know how many people are in here. So weird that YouTube doesn't give me my own live stats as I'm watching it. That's all right. Probably to keep me held down. That's what they do, brother. Hold you down, Jack. All right. Hopefully we're all learning something here. I am learning a ton. I appreciate all y'all being here, and a lot of you giving me some encouragement. I was kind of scared to do this before. Didn't have great luck with it. But now, newfound confidence. I'm riding the high of having friends who know more than me. Are we getting good at this? Can't tell you. Are we? Are we getting decent? Close that up and see if we can get that to sink all the way down in there. Good stuff. Go over, cut them a little bit shy. The old trusted Rusties. Trusty Rusty. All right. Two things. We should be considering, sorry. You should be thinking about now painting these ribbons inside of here, which is good. And maybe we should be thinking about if we're going to put any more color inside of here, because black is starting to feel better and better in there. Heavy strokes can get you a paycheck for 18 years. Be careful, Brother Wes. I hear you. That's right, growing meat. Be careful. Feeling blessed. Hope all's well with me and the family. Everyone is wonderful over here. Eco says nothing to do it but to do it. Right. My son said your walking stick is cool. I just made him one for hiking. Oh man, that's so awesome. Thank you. Tell your son I think he's cool. Cheers to the kid. Also, my daughter got me a cowboy coffee cup, so you know what I'm saying? Oh, cowboy. All right. So over here, He's still drying up. So we can continue and get this cane together even more. Meanwhile, I'm just put this clamp back over here on our other rig. But just a schmeck for a second. All right, so some of this black stain is clearly doing something different. I swear, I just think I'm gonna need to go ahead and stain that whole thing. I just think I think that's gonna be the way to go. Like I've been thinking about a lot of other ways to do it, but I think solid black here to here is a good way to go. I'll take a couple seconds and let y'all think about it. I'm out of water. I'm gonna go get some more when I get back. You ruthless motor scooters. Oh man, my channel goes kerplunk the second I ask for likes. Like, the number of people in here dropped drastically. I don't know why that hurts my feelings, but it do. All right, I'll be right back though. More coffee and a better attitude. Did I say bitter or better? Either way, you all figure out what I should do with that cane, color-wise. I'll be right back with some water. in the doorway, in the front door. All he said is, Papa, don't love it no more. I'm back. You want it? I got it. Dripping like water. Want it? I got it. Dripping like water. Ooh. Ooh. Water is so important. Hydration. I think y'all help me set this cane up, man. Let me put my headphones in. Yo. I, back in business. All right. We need stuff to paint with, right? We could do that with an epoxy. We could blend black in with an epoxy. Put that coat on, see what it does. It'll also give us a little bit more holding strength. This is a laminated cane, by the way. So, let's do it. I don't know if this quick dry epoxy is the way to go. I'll be honest with you. But we have been experimenting this whole time. I don't know why we would stop right now. We might as well know what we can do and what we can't do, right? Where is the epoxy that helps me do my job? I'm walking about on a Saturday. Black. Now, you know we gotta mix it. So we got plenty of wood sticks about. That's not a problem. You know we need a cup in which to mix it. No problem. We got cups. Yeah, babe. Oh, you need me to open the door for you? My wife has brought me Chinese food. Baby kisses you about. Good to see you. Have a good one. Sorry I missed you. Martin says, hi, first time seeing your site. Very cool work. I enjoyed watching your work. Thanks, Marty. I appreciate that. Student says, what's this for? Oh, it's a walking cane. Yep, it's a cane. Walking stick. Hiking. Lots of stuff, I guess you could say. I'm trying to fancy it up, though, so it looks more like a Sunday go to meeting cane, if you want it, but durable enough to be a leash your dog cane. You know what I'm saying? Not friendly, not friendly. Whack. Mm-hmm. Keep your dad safe over here. All right, I'm not gonna make you listen to me eat. I did need to get a little nourishment in my tongue system. Okay, so we're gonna sand this excess first. We'll get that off. That way, once we start staining here, we can be serious about keeping it safe. And maybe we'll even take this off just to keep a little bit of that pressure off of us if we go to grab it and we got some of this stuff on our hands. That's how it all got wonky last time. So, quick sip of the water and get it out of harm's way so I don't have to inhale dust into my lungs and my tummy. We'll move this for now. Move this here for now. This here for now. Are we done with this? I think so. We'll put it on right there in case we need it later. And we'll stick some of our other stuff down there and get it out of our way. Let me show you real quick, just in case you're new here. Boom. That's all our stuff out of our way. Out of our way. Yet, mad available to us. I didn't realize those weren't magnetic. Mm-hmm. All right, back here. Back here. I'm up here. I'm up here. I'm up here. Get him out of the way. That out of the way for now. Don't need it. Get these drill bits back in the bit box. Don't need them. Let's do some sanding. Again, we're just going with the grain. What I got here is 100 grit. I'm definitely going to work back down to a finer grit, but this is a good way to get that top surface nice and clear of the nonsense. What you're also going to notice is I'm going to hit these a little bit as I go, because we're going to have to do that anyway at some point. Might as well get it started. And essentially, if you go heavy enough grit with a light enough pack, but not too many scars in your wood, then you can get an eraser-like performance out of about 100 grit. Maybe 120 would be better. But this is doing it pretty good. Unlike my grammar. Maybe should have been well. And you know, you can use all sorts of sanding equipment for this kind of thing. Some equipment gives you refinement and more accuracy. Some equipment gives you less accuracy, just more speed. And that's true for most sanding devices. So I don't really mind sanding by hand. I usually get a good result that way. You'll find that sometimes you get the sander going a little too heavy, and then you got to work out other mistakes and other things. But going with the wood grain by hand is not a bad way to go. I don't know if y'all remember, but we finished this cane once before. And we had done all that work. And it still looks so plain. And so we started doing other stuff to it. And then we give ourselves a couple days, sometimes a couple of weeks in between, so that our ideas are cohesive ideas. I don't do anything until I consider the merit of it. After I've already got something that I'm somewhat happy with, and I'm looking to improve it, or finish it, then I'll make that effort. Woodshed by Dan. Hi Wes, hi Plywood and everyone. I'll just be lurking in the background, won't have my hands free. Glad I caught a live, Wes. Glad you did too, Dan. Thank you. Glad you showed up. Just because now I know that I'm essentially going to be a radio station, see? I try to keep you abreast of what's going on. Right now, we're just running sand along the edge so that we can erase all the fingerprint marks that we made before when I stained the ribbon pattern that I've carved into this wood. It got a little out of hand. We had a great time on that live, which is kind of how it got out of hand, but I would not change it. What we want to end up with is a nice raw surface up against this. But when we do go to put our finish on, we can get consistency. And again, I finished this cane all the way down to 220 before. And now we find ourselves scuffing it back up. Because if we're going to do this much stuff and beat on it this hard, we're going to have to put a good finish on it, a new finish on it. And do it right. This can may end up in the hands of somebody who we love. We don't want no half-assery. Good opportunity also to sharpen up some tough corners we might find here and there throughout. Now, we are going to go black, I think. Everything else we tried suggests we go black. Now, here's one of those rare opportunities where we can play a little bit and just see what might be better. Because now that we've got the black on there, on the ribboning, let's see if we clean this all the way off, if it'll look like anything. Because otherwise we're going black anyway, so it'll all be recovered. But what we don't know is what this looks like with that black ribbon there and no accents inside, just the raw wood, you know what I mean? Now, here, I'm kind of breaking the rule we talked about before, which is going with the wood grain, but the wood grain is all going this way, and I can't, you know. So what I'm doing is kind of going in circles, and that just means that you don't have to worry, you don't want a bunch of scratch patterns, right, to have to pull back out. So that's essentially the reason for that rule. Here, we're going to have to work some of that out. It's just what it is. But I'm going in circles so that it doesn't show up as bad as angular scratches and stuff like that. Circles disappear a little bit better than straight lines. Human beings' eyes are really tuned to straight lines. When we see them, almost all of us recognize it right away. So cases where we don't want to see scratch lines, straight lines. Already, I don't know if I love it. I might be a little too far away from y'all. Let me get close. That way you can get a valid perspective. Chime in if you like. If you got a different opinion, say, hey Wes, I think you should go another way, buddy. A lot of what we've done here on this cane are viewer suggested. Because we are on this journey together after all. Think of it like erasing, right? Think of it like you're just being a little bitty eraser. Erasing the parts off we don't want to see. Also important to remember as you go, if you're working on any piece, right? When you get into the early sandings, it's gonna be a little bit uglier. Don't panic. Take your time. Don't take off big chunks at a time. Don't make decisions that you can't reverse rationally. Take your time. It works out. See? Each time you can see a little bit more. You can do a little bit more. You can refine a little bit more. And remember, in this case, we are doing this to improve our skills. If we completely wreck this cane that took weeks to make, right, first time, once we understand all of our processes, our tooling, what we need, and develop some technique, even if I completely ruin this, I can remake it in hours. I don't know how many hours, but I can remake it in less than half the time I originally made it in, because now I know what to do and not guessing and slow poking along. So the first time, it's okay to guess and slow poke along. You save yourself some headache. Ask me how I know. And like I said, you gotta enjoy what you're doing here. what you're doing here is solely for the purpose of figuring out how to make money at it, I don't know what to tell you. Have I ever sold a chain? Not ever in my life. Will I ever sell one? Sure, probably. Otherwise, they're going to start piling up over here, like these mallets. But what will I most likely do? Giveaways. Like, mostly I'm doing this so that people will watch, right? And people will subscribe. There's no client at the end of this cane. There's no customer waiting. I can put 400 hours into this cane. No problem. Kind of the beauty of it. The one of one that 100% will never repeat. Because I only like it in the experimental stages. I don't like things in the production stages. I want refined craftsmanship. I don't want repeated design. I want uniqueness. So if I ever sell, it'll be in that vein. So now, again, what I'm doing is just pulling off the charring that we did earlier to get our black, and any of the actual dye that we used to get our black on the inside of this pattern that we created. So what I want to do is just clean up enough of it, clean enough to look and see if it's worth keeping it that way. And I'm going to ask you guys that question here in a sec. Let's get the dust off of it. First off the desk. Now for our cane. Now, let's say this were the way we were going, right? Heavy contrast. Is that better than just dark all the way here to here? Put some finish on it, some varnish on it. What do you think? Think about that for a second while I clean up my desktop. Rat says 400 hours put into it would make it 400 times better than any other one that some machine put out. An hour into it. Rat, that's 100% true. But that's kind of the point, right? Of handmade, is that you're not competing with Walmart. You're doing something that nobody else could even have without a lot of time and effort and experience, expertise, yada yada, right? So that's the goal. I think I'm still at my original idea of let's make all of this dark. Rat says, don't like the way your desk currently is, just sand it until you get a new one. That's exactly right. And if you saw last week's live, I think I did that to this very desk. I put a little chamfered edge on it and everything. And it's not, and maybe 2 weeks ago I built this thing on a live. Y'all know what I be doing? All right. Let's go ahead and get this cleaned with the air. Because I really do think it makes sense. To make that dark black epoxy. See if we can get it to both protect and color this whole situation. Because I don't think this contrast I think it's too much. Like you got the contrast of those two woods and then that, and then you're wrapping it, and then I'm doing this kind of like it's choking it, constricting it or something. And I think if you get too in the weeds with details, you kind of lose the authority of any of them. You don't get a fascinating piece. You get a bunch of weird shit going on. Just removing the old epoxy that is hardened inside of here. I don't even remember where I caught it. Oh, there it is. Good thing is you can just squeeze these little cups. Once you break the bead, you can just get the whole thing out of there. To the trash with you. Actually landed right in there. Must mean it's gonna be a good day. It's gonna be a good day. I might have a bad day. I might feel that bad day. Hey, it's gonna be a good day. Not for you, little mosquito. It's gonna be your last day. Well, it could be his best day tomorrow. Wake up and be a beautiful caterpillar. This is the part. Nobody cares about cleaning your cups out, but they care about your results. That's how I have to think about it, G. All right. We're gonna put in some dye and some of this. And then we're going to mix it up, and then we're going to put it on here. Things you want to do prior to that. One is glovature. CJ is up out of here. It says peace. Have a blast. You too. Appreciate you, CJ. CJ is a great friend of the channel. Appreciate you. All right, here we go. Let's mix it up. Let's get ready to rumble. First, I think this is the fast setting stuff. So we're going to go a little bit faster than we usually go with something like that. Because we just mixing. This ain't, we just figuring it out. I think that's what they say. Figuring it out. Take a quick water sip break. So we got to mix that stuff up fast. I think is my point. But I also want to have some sort of brushability. Let's see if I got a little chip brush at least. Yep. I think I've already ruined all of my craft brushes. I'll get some more. But that'll fit in the cup, and that'll definitely work on the desktop. All right, here we go. I don't know how much of this we're gonna need, so we'll go with about half of it. Maybe a little more than half that was. All right, put our top back on. Drop our dye down in there. And probably put a bit much. That's how I roll, son. Keep going around in the same direction with this, because we don't want to introduce bubble. It might happen, but we don't want it to. What's unique about this, and usually epoxy, you've already mixed the epoxy before you add the chemical or the colorant, I think. I don't know, I'm not an epoxy expert at all. But y'all just saw me break my own rule and went in the opposite direction. It's just a bad habit. It's a good habit with some things, it's a bad one with others. Epoxy being one of those. Hopefully we'll be putting a thin enough coat on, because we're doing it for coverage here. So maybe we won't have the same worry of consequences we do if we were doing some sort of epoxy pour. JB Weld. No, I don't think this is a JB Weld brand. This is Harbor Freight brand. 90-second epoxy. So here we are. We're just gonna pour that on there, like you do. How satisfying is that? How extremely interesting is that? And how am I gonna get it over this whole thing consistently, fast enough before it sets up? Jeez. This is the, 90-second stuff? Oh, it smells so bad. So not good. Anytime something's got dye in it, anytime something's got a rapid dry time on it, I'm gonna wreck it. I'm gonna wreck it. get in all of our little areas though. That's the first priority. Worry about getting it in for now. Worry about getting it out of the places we don't want it later. But it'll come out. Rest assured and best believe it'll come out. Also, we're not going to worry about those chip brush fibers that are coming off, because it's the cheapest stuff known to man. You ain't gonna worry about no bristles. Oh man, it's setting up fast. Alright. We're gonna pull that a little bit off. Get it right up off of there. And then I'm gonna just mix up some more. So interesting, because you can feel it like getting hot in the cup. And we're just gonna make some more. That's all we're gonna do. And this stuff, you can go right over top, more of it. It's fine. And we are gonna have to do some sanding. Don't get it twisted. Sanding is going to be in order. If you look close, you can see it bubbling a little bit. It's like curing, so it's not completely loose in the cup yet. But I got other cups. I mean, so let's grab one of them. Do it all over again. Maybe have a little bit of this teriyaki chicken. I apologize for eating in your ear, but I don't regret it. More of this. Should have just used it all the first time. Like $2. Unnecessarily heavy amount of black. Just gonna flip our stir stick over. I feel like we might need an additional chip brush. We're having some fun today. Tell you that much. Tell you that much. Get that in all of the places that we want it to be. Let it run wild. Let it run free. Just getting it everywhere. And all the cracks and crevices and all the neighboring planes and such. All up and down. I don't know how much work we got cut out for us after we get all up in there. I don't know, fam. It's my first time too. Look like a lot, I'll be honest with you. Looks like a lot. Get my chip brush. I'm going this one all in here. Darn. Just to see her, just to know her, just to see her and all the way, just one more time. I'm singing that song wrong. I would do anything, yeah, I would go anywhere. There's nothing I wouldn't do. Just to see you there. I'm running out of time. I'm running out of time, baby. No, because we got a whole extra thing of this stuff. But we might end up having a carve though. I wonder if we use the heat gun, what that'll do. Should spread it, right? Should help with the spreading of this stuff. Let's try it out. If it don't work, the next video will be how epoxy ruined my cane. It'll be a warning video. Let's see. Slap in a little bit of heat gun action. Hopefully it doesn't plastic it up. Then you have to like pull it back off. It's making it bubble. But I don't know if that's good. I don't know if that's meaning it's melting it like it would be melting plastic and ruining the thing, or if that means it's making it good. I'll know in a second. Who knows it's not smoothing out. So we definitely got some sanding in our immediate future. Fortunately, this is a 90-second cure, which means a few minutes. Because it's not just 90 seconds. Warm to the touch. Because it just put a heat gun on it. But also, that's how that stuff sets up. Leo Walker said hi, and Lufu Ozgen says hi. So hi to you motor scooters too. Matthew's out. Peace, Matt. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming through. Maybe a red demand in the center. Demon in the center. Oh. Gotta go west. Can't wait to see this in a poster or short. Much love. Appreciate it, Rat. Thanks for hanging. Thanks for hanging. Let me give that a second. When we know we can't sand it while it's still hot. Because that'll mean we'll just be peeling it off most likely. So we're gonna let that set up. Meanwhile, thought I forgot. Our heart is almost set. It might even be good. I'm gonna give it a quick second though to get right. And while we're letting that dry, so that I don't go eating in your ear and being all weird, I'm gonna let y'all go for now, but I will be back. I will be back. Plenty to do. West does it. Thanks for coming out, for real, for real.